friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today I'm going to be telling you about Nonfiction November and the books that I've chosen to read during the month. I'm very, very excited. Even though I don't normally read very much nonfiction, the pile that I have here is very exciting to me. So let me just tell you a little bit about Nonfiction November and then the books that I'm going to be reading. Nonfiction November is hosted by Olive from A Book Olive and another booktuber, I believe, who isn't really participating in the hosting part this year. I can't remember who that is, but I'll link their information and announcement video down below. This readathon is more like an initiative, as Olive says, and I love that because it's not really about reading to fulfill a certain amount of goals or a certain amount of books. It's just to inspire people to pick up a little more nonfiction than they normally would, even if that's one book. So I have maybe read 3 or 4 nonfiction throughout the course of 2018 so far, and here we are in November, or almost in November, and I have 5 or 6, I believe. I have 5 nonfiction books that I want to read during the month of November. This might be a pretty lofty goal, but I am very excited about these 5 books. As part of inspiring people to pick up nonfiction, Olive has come up with some word pairings to help guide or inspire your reading choices. And I have managed to find a way to fit the books that I want to read into these word pairings because I've had this pile ready to go for months. The first word pairing is past time or pastime, and I'm choosing past time, and I'm going to be reading a biography of Louis Zamperini, and that is Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand. Now, this is also going to be my Goodreads read-along pick for the month of November, so if you haven't yet read this book, or if you'd read it and would like to reread it, join us in my Goodreads book club to read Unbroken. This is the story of Louis, I believe, Zamperini, who had a pretty crazy life experience. He was, I believe, an Olympic runner, but then during World War II, he was a soldier, and during a flight over the Pacific, his plane went down and he was captured by Japanese soldiers and put into a prisoner of war camp. And this just tells that experience, and then towards the end, even his spiritual transformation as well. I've heard that this one is a heartbreaker. I am fully prepared to have the tissues nearby while I read this one. And I'm just really, really excited to get to it. The little tagline down here says, a World War II story of survival, resilience, and redemption. So you guys know how much I love World War II fiction. I'm really excited to be reading a World War II nonfiction. So that's the first book that I plan on reading. The second prompt is self or shelf. And for that, I'm going to choose Self, and I've been wanting to read Quiet by Susan Cain. This is a book about introversion and how introverts are often overlooked, or not necessarily overlooked, but how they can exist and stand apart and have power and meaning in a world that is filled with extroverts. The little tagline here says, the power of introverts in a world that can't stop talking. So as most of us here on BookTube, I am very introverted. So I've had this book for quite a long time on my shelf. Here we go. We're going to match both words. And it's one that I've been really looking forward to getting to. So this will be another read for the month. Then the third prompt is Wander or Wonder. And I actually have 2 books fulfilling each side of that word pairing. And for Wander, I have chosen Educated by Tara Westover. I was really hoping to hear Tara Westover when I went to the National Book Festival, but the line was way too long and I didn't get in. This is Tara's story of being raised in a survivalist family in the mountains of Idaho, I believe. The children didn't go to school. They never went to see a doctor. They were very isolated. I believe it was a really extreme religious sect of some sort, I think, that they were a part of. But yeah, she never had gone to the doctor, never had a public school or a traditional education. Until she was 17, she leaves home to go to college, and from there begins to travel all over. I don't know if it's all over the United States or if that includes the world. I guess I'll find out, but she does a bit of wandering to educate herself. Once she gets a taste of learning about the world. She just can't get enough. But then also retaining that connection to her upbringing and her family is a part of it as well. So I'm really, really looking forward to this. I already need to renew it because I got it out too early from the library. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. But then for the wonder side, I have Atul Gawande's Being Mortal, and I'm stretching the wonder on this, but I first heard of this book from Mary over at Happily Ever Ash, who hasn't been making videos for quite a while, but she talked about this book in such a positive light and really, really loved it, and it really made me wonder if I would like it as well. So there's the wonder. But this talks about aging and death and the effect of medicine on those things in our culture, what matters in life at the end. It's a book that I'm very interested in. It's on the shorter side of the ones I've picked for this month, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Final pairing of 2 words is micro or macro, and for that I have Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson. I have been wanting to read this one for quite a while as well. And in this book, Bryan Stevenson talks about the criminal justice system in America, and in particular, the impact of mercy versus justice. And he started the Equal Justice Initiative, where he is a lawyer, and that legal practice is dedicated towards those who are poor, those who are wrongfully accused, those who are trapped in the deepest reaches of the criminal justice system. And so while looking at the macro side of the whole criminal justice system, kind of hones in on the underdog in a sense. And I, again, will have the tissues nearby. I read the introduction to this when I first got the book, 2 years ago maybe, and even the introduction was very heavy and very emotional. I have a feeling this is going to be a really good book, very important read for me, and one that I'm probably going to cry my way through, and maybe get angry. That's a very real possibility as well, but I'm looking forward to finally getting to this one. I've just heard so many good things. I do think, because I don't normally read so much nonfiction, I know that throughout the month I'm going to have to intersperse some fiction in there. I'm thinking I'll probably pick up some middle grade or YA just because I want them to be quick and easy reads in the midst of maybe some heavier reads. I do have a buddy read. So one of the fiction books that I'll be reading in November is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. I'm reading this with one of my followers, subscribers, whatever. And I haven't read To Kill a Mockingbird in maybe since high school. So it's been a really long time, which I think will be good, because I did love To Kill a Mockingbird and I still remember the story for the most part. And I have heard pretty negative reviews about this one, but I'm hoping that because I'm so far removed from reading To Kill a Mockingbird that I will be able to find some kind of enjoyment out of this. I think buddy reading it will be helpful so that we can chat about it as we go. So this is not one of the light fluffy reads that I'm going to be reading in November, but it is one of the fiction books that I will read this month. So here are the 6 books that I do plan on reading during the month of November. I would love to hear from you. I know a lot of these have been read by a lot of you. They're pretty popular nonfiction books, so I just would love to hear from you what you thought about them, if you think that I'll like them. It'll be interesting to see if I can get through all of them in a month, me being not really a nonfiction reader. So I'm very excited about this stack though, and I'm hoping to have a couple others thrown in there by the end of the month as well. But let me know if you're participating in Nonfiction November. I love chatting with you down in the comments, so be sure to comment. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be talking to you in another video very soon. Bye!